Here are the top stories for today, July 2, 2020. President Rodrigo Duterte will call for a special session to pass the proposed stimulus package for COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. The Department of Education noted a significant decrease on the number of enrollees in private schools. Malacanang said the DTI and DEPED should set the guidelines for production shoots. And PCOO vows transparency in assisting the probe on drug war deaths. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Duterte will call for a special session to pass the proposed stimulus package for COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque earlier said the government could only afford a stimulus package worth 140 billion pesos, which is similar to the Senate's proposal. Roque said the government wants new funding for testing subsidies and hiring of 50,000 contact tracers. He also stressed the need to renew or extend the Bayanihan law in order to continue the assistance being given to our health workers. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives says it is committed to approve the second part of the Bayanihan law. House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez said the House is committed to approve the Bayanihan to Recover as One bill or the Bayanihan 2 to further help the government address the impact of COVID-19 crisis. Under the House version proposed Bayanihan to Recover as One law, a 162 billion peso stand-up fund will be appropriated and will be used to support operations and response measures to address the COVID-19 crisis. These include enhancement of healthcare services and COVID-19 testing, assistance to workers, the education sector, government financial institutions, the agriculture sector, tourism, among others. The Supreme Court has dismissed a petition challenging the validity of Republic Act No. 11469 or the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. A suit filed by former Laguna State Polytechnic University Dean Jaime Ibanez sought to declare the Bayanihan Law and Presidential Proclamations 922 and 929 as partly unconstitutional due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Named in the suit filed last month were Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, and the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. Ibanez claimed the case involves undue exercise of delegated legislative power. The court's en banc session on Tuesday dismissed the petition as it failed to show grave abuse of discretion committed by its respondents. The Department of Social Welfare and Development find ways to distribute financial aid. Meanwhile, the AFP distributes quarantine facilities with the help of some private donors. More on this from Chris Mundo.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development has partnered with 6 financial service providers to distribute the government's social amelioration program. These are Land Bank, GCash, RCBC, Robinsons Bank, PayMaya, and StarPay. Social Welfare Secretary Rolando Bautista said they have since completed payout to 9,391 wait-listed families worth 52 million pesos, with most of these beneficiaries living in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and WTA Architecture and Design Studio turned over 2 emergency quarantine facilities to the TAGUIG-PATEROS District Hospital. The quarantine facilities can accommodate up to 25 patients with mild to no symptoms. The team aims to complete 75 emergency quarantine facilities within and outside Metro Manila and has already completed 74 since March 28. In other news, a survey conducted by the Department of Tourism found that domestic travel will lead a recovery of the Philippine travel industry. 77% of respondents expressed their willingness to travel to local destinations once restrictions are lifted, while more than half of the respondents look forward to travel for leisure or vacation, even in the absence of a vaccine against COVID-19. Boracay, Siargao, and Baguio top the list of destinations to visit when travel is permitted again. Filipinos also prefer to travel to destinations closer to home. Top travel activities that are high on their minds are beach trips, road trips, and staycations. At least 88% of respondents also express willingness to comply with existing health and safety protocols, such as undergoing rapid COVID-19 tests prior to departure and submitting a medical certificate before traveling. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Mundo.
The Department of Education, or DepEd, noted a lower enrollment turnout in private schools for school year 2020 to 2021. This as over 15.8 million signed up in public schools, while some 706,000 students expressed their intent to enroll in private basic education institutions. DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones reiterated that the opening of classes will proceed on August 24, 2020, and that face-to-face classes would not take place until it is safe to do so, as declared by the Department of Health, IATF, and President Duterte. Meanwhile, the Commission on Higher Education has authorized medical schools to admit students who have not taken its National Medical Admission Test, or NMAT, following the test postponement. NMAT is a standardized test designed to upgrade the selection of applicants seeking admission to Philippine medical schools. CHED Chairman Prospero de Vera said the decision was prompted by the concerns expressed by parents and students on how to proceed into the medical program without the required NMAT. The Department of Tourism and the Department of Trade and Industry inspect several establishments in Ortigas to check if proper health protocols are being implemented. During the site visit, Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat recommends putting up more acrylic sheets at the reception and restaurant tables, as well as adopting QR-oriented entry to further prevent the transmission of the virus. She said the DOT and the DTI will also suggest the digitalization of health declaration forms to further boost customer confidence when dining in at a restaurant. Data from the DOT and CR show that 133 restaurants were accredited in 2020 from 78 in 2019. Romulo Puyat and Lopez expressed optimism that more restaurants will seek accreditation as a seal of good housekeeping. State prosecutors have given Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel III until July 15 to answer the charges against him for alleged violation of enhanced community quarantine protocols. In March, the Makati Medical Center said Pimentel breached its infection and containment protocols when he went to the hospital with his wife, who was to give birth through cesarean section. The hospital said Pimentel's visit unduly exposed healthcare workers to possible infection after it was found that he tested positive for COVID-19. In April, lawyer Rico Quicho filed a complaint against Pimentel for alleged violation of Republic Act 11332, or the Mandatory Reporting of Notifiable Diseases and Health Events of Public Health Concern Act. Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento said they have given Pimentel on or before the date to file his counter affidavit. Still to come, Malacanang said the DTI and DepEd should set the guidelines for production shoots. And President Duterte has ordered the NBI to hasten its investigation into the shooting incident involving cops and soldiers in Sulu. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at nang himpilang ito.
Kakagaling ko lang ng grocery. Siyempre, hindi ko hahayaan na pumasok ang COVID-19 sa bahay at mapahamak ang pamilya ko. Kaya iwan ko ang sapatos ko sa labas. At ngayon, maghuhugas ako ng kamay ng 20 seconds. O ayan, wala na ang virus. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin na nakasalalay. Let's heal as one.
Alam niyo ba na pumapasok ang COVID-19 sa ating katawan sa pamamagitan ng mata, ilong at bibig? Kaya lagi kaming conscious dito sa bahay kapag umuubo kami. Lagi kaming naghuhugas ng kamay in 20 seconds. Pag lumalabas kami, lagi namin suot ang mask. Lagi lang natin tatandaan mga mamshi. Buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's heal as one.
Malacanang questioned the guidelines released by the Film Development Council of the Philippines, or FDCP, in regulating film and other audiovisual production shoots. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said he started to raise questions about the guidelines after the FDCP requested the DOH to approve the filming of a TV series in Caramoan town in Camarines Sur. He explained that the DTI and DEPED have overall high supervision over the FDCP and should sponsor the guidelines on film and other AV production shoots. Earlier, the FDCP issued the clarificatory guidelines on its joint administrative order, which require production companies to submit specific details of the planned production shoot, including the people participating at the production site. FDCP Chair LIABILITIES defended the order, saying it intends to comply with the health and safety protocols needed to be adopted by the industry. The Department of Labor and Employment disputed the claim of ABS-CBN that it has been found compliant with labor laws. The Labor Department says it also denounces attempts by lawyers and officials of ABS-CBN to misrepresent its position to deceive members of the House of Representatives in its bid to gain congressional approval for a new franchise. The agency said the claims of ABS-CBN that it is a compliant company is patently misleading, as there are 67 pending cases against them in the National Labor Relations Commission and the various courts. The DOLE also warned ABS-CBN's counsels against the unjust use of the agency's policy issuance to the advantage of the company. Meanwhile, Malacanang distanced itself from the latest move of the National Telecommunications Commission to issue 2 cease and desist orders stopping ABS-CBN Corporation's digital broadcast on TV Plus in Metro Manila and Sky's satellite broadcast nationwide. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said they referred to the actions of the NTC because it is the administrative agency specifically created by law to deal with these matters. A town in southern Leyte where 2 residents tested positive for COVID-19 is now out of enhanced community quarantine. Meanwhile, the DENR files charges against the former police chief of Puerto Princesa over the alleged maltreatment of its personnel. More on this and other news from the provinces from Rom Dulfo.
The local government of Libagon in southern Leyte has lifted the enhanced community quarantine, or ECQ, in Hilod village, where 2 residents tested positive for COVID-19. Mayor Sabina Ranque said that ECQ was to give its local response team enough time to trace those who had contact with the town's positive patients. Of the town's total 17 cases, 11 are locally stranded individuals, 2 are overseas Filipino workers, and 4 are close contacts of positive patients. In Palawan, the DENR has filed criminal and administrative charges before the Office of the Ombudsman against relieved Puerto Princesa Police Director Colonel Marion Balonglong. This was in line with the illegal arrest and maltreatment of 8 DENR employees last June 10. The DNR provided full details of the illegal arrest and maltreatment suffered at the hands of Balonglong by 8 workers assigned at the Community Environment and Natural Resources Office in Puerto Princesa City. The investigation was in connection with an earlier discovery on June 7 of illegal occupation and massive mangrove cutting in the area. Meanwhile, the Department of Health, Central Luzon Center for Health Development announced on Wednesday the resumption of the Sabayang Patak kontra Polio synchronized immunization campaign in the region. The DOH will conduct the synchronized polio immunization for Round 1, Phase 1 from July 20 to August 2 in Nueva Ecija, Aurora, Angeles City, and City of San Jose del Monte in Bulacan. For Round 1, Phase 2 from August 3 to 16, included are the provinces of Bataan, Bulacan, Pampanga, Tarlac, and Zambales. Under Round 2 from September 7 to 20, the whole of Central Luzon will be covered. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to hasten its investigation into the shooting incident in Jolo, Sulu involving cops and soldiers. Duterte gave the order as he grieved over the deaths of 4 military troops following the supposed misencounter in Jolo, Sulu on Monday. The 4 were tailing 4 terrorist suicide bombers when the shooting happened. Both the PNP and AFP have already sought the help of the NBI Regional Office in Zamboanga to look into the case to ensure impartiality and eliminate any suspicion of undue influence. Meanwhile, President Duterte wants to talk with the 9 police officers involved in the shooting incident. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año said the president will talk with the AFP and PNP commanders in Western Mindanao. He said his guidance is to observe the due process and let justice run its course. The prices of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, have increased for July effective Wednesday. Petron and Phoenix LPG adjusted the price of their 11-kilogram LPG cylinder by 50 centavos per kilogram. They also implemented an increment of 30 centavos per liter on the prices of auto LPG. The Solane-branded LPG likewise increased its price by 45 centavos per kilogram. Companies said the adjustments reflect the international contract price of LPG for this month. The increment for July translate into price increases of 4 pesos and 95 centavos to 5.50 for a standard 11-kilogram LPG tank. Up next, PCOO vows transparency in assisting the probe on drug war deaths. And Philippine offshore gaming operators are ordered to settle their tax liabilities. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Mga mommies, pagdating sa COVID-19, dapat hindi tayo kampante. Bagamat hindi nakikita ang sakit na ito ay nakamamatay. At hanggang ngayon wala pa rin lunas. Kaya protektahan natin ang ating pamilya. Laging maghugas ng kamay, huwag hahawakan ng mukha, at manatili sa bahay para makaiwas sa sakit na ito. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's heal this one.
Hi Caps! Kamusta?
Well, ito dahil sa COVID-19, medyo stress.
Okay lang yan Caps. Napagdaanan ko din yan.
Ano kaya pwede natin gawin, no?
Kung nararamdaman mo na gulong-gulo ka na sa mga naririnig mo, sa mga nababasa mo, mag-pause ka muna, saka ka huminga ng malalim.
Buti na lang tumawag ka. Iba talaga pag may nangangamusta.
A strong body starts with a strong mind.
Tama. Let's heal as one.
Malacanang says the proposed Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, which is a signature away from becoming a law, is at par with similar legislation of developed countries. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque made the statement after United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet urged President Rodrigo Duterte to refrain from signing the anti-terrorism bill. During the 44th regular session of the UN Human Rights Council on June 30, she said the bill could intensify concerns on the blurring of distinctions between criticism, criminality, and terrorism. Roque explained that other countries such as the United States and the United Kingdom had more draconian laws compared to the Philippines. Roque also pointed out that atrocities or acclaimed violations of human rights are being investigated and perpetrators are being punished. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has bared that the national government has created an interagency body that will look into the deaths in the administration's drug war. The Presidential Communications Operations Office vows transparency in assisting a newly formed interagency panel conducting a judicious review into the deaths of the administration's war on drugs. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar made this remark as he lauded Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara for reassuring the international community that the Philippines continues to uphold human rights. Andanar expressed support for the panel the same way he did when the PCOO was actively involved in disseminating Real Numbers PH, the government's unitary report on the anti-drug campaign. He also emphasized the value given by the administration in ensuring that all government responses to societal problems are always within the law and done with respect to human rights. He said the UNHRC dialogue affirmed that member states recognize the Philippines' transparency on the anti-illegal drug campaign and its positive engagement with the stakeholders here and abroad. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. says the collision between a Philippine fishing vessel and a Hong Kong flag cargo ship has nothing to do with Manila's maritime row with Beijing. Locsin on Wednesday said the Philippines would press claims if negligence is to be established on the part of the Hong Kong flagship. Undersecretary Brigido Dulay Jr. added that the incident is no different from any other incident involving vessels within Philippine territory. He noted that the incident is being politicized and connected to the West Philippine Sea. MV Vienna Wood departed from Subic, Zambales, going to Australia, while fishing vessel Liberty 5 departed from Cagayan de Tawi-Tawi, going to Navotas Fishport when the maritime incident occurred. On Tuesday, China said it is ready to assist the Philippine government regarding the incident. Malacanang on Wednesday maintained that Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOS, must settle their tax liabilities before they can either restart or close down their operations in the country. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the government is not changing its position with regard to tax-evading POGOS. Roque backed the recent statement of Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III that the government would continue to go after POGOS with unpaid taxes even after they decided to leave the Philippines. On Sunday, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation announced that Macau-based casino operator Sun City Group has closed its POGO operations in the country. Don Tenses Asian Solutions has also sought the cancellation of its license. PAGCOR warned that more POGOs are seen to exit the country due to the stringent tax rules from the Bureau of Internal Revenue, particularly on the franchise tax. Around 60 POGO operators have secured licenses to operate in the Philippines. In our 4 news, the number of COVID-19 cases in Southeast Asia rose to over 153,000. At least 2,600 new cases were reported, with 62 people having died of the virus, while about 1,500 recovered over the last 24 hours across the member states of the ASEAN. Indonesia, the worst-hit country in the region, reported 58 daily fatalities from COVID-19, bringing the total nationwide death toll to 2,934. The number of COVID-confirmed cases in the Philippines rose to 38,511 after the country reported 999 new cases over the past 24 hours. Thailand reported 2 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the country's total number to 3,173. Singapore recorded 250 new cases of the virus on Wednesday, bringing the tally to 44,122. In Malaysia, 1 more case was confirmed, bringing the total to 8,640. Myanmar reported 299 confirmed cases of COVID-19 so far. There were no reports of changes in Brunei, Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia. The Games and Amusements Board has submitted the new normal protocols in team practices to the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. GAB Chairman Baha Mitra said the Philippine Basketball Association, the Philippines Football League, and the Chooks to Go Pilipinas 3x3 have drafted their respective protocols last month in hopes that their member clubs can return to practice very soon. Mitra, however, added that the Department of Health is still barring GAB from reopening practices for boxing. In the case of areas under the general community quarantine, only 4 players and 1 trainer can do conditioning drills at a certain time. In the case of football, GAB would allow 10 people, including the trainer, at a certain time. Only 1 hour may be allotted for workouts with a 30-minute interval for cleaning the facility. The IATF will hold a meeting on Thursday to decide on whether it will approve the practice protocols or not. Traffic eases at the Bocaue interchange as the new North Luzon Expressway Tambubong interchange opens today. The latest traffic decongestion project offers another alternative for commuters at Bocaue interchange bound for Santa Maria, Angat, and Pandi in Bulacan. The new interchange features a 2-lane southbound entry, a 2-lane northbound entry, and a 3-lane northbound exit. It also has 3 exclusive radio frequency identification or RFID lanes to encourage cashless and faster transactions. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. President Rodrigo Duterte will call for a special session to pass the proposed stimulus package for COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. The Department of Education noted a significant decrease on the number of enrollees in private schools. Malacanang said the DTI and DEPED should set the guidelines for production shoots. And PCOO vows transparency in assisting the probe on drug war deaths. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day and stay safe, everyone.